And so it's kind of like the idea of like taking Disney and putting it, you know, in other areas.
But you walk out with a book, but then what's with you in it?
That's one of the products we sell. There's obviously
and you're gonna now like teach photographers how to do that.
We don't teach photographers.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
So this business was interesting. So he, at the time when he came to me, he had one location and he had, I think, about 100 customers who were B2B, who were doing like some sort of like hybrid agency business coaching thing. And I really hated the model. And I was like, well, how much extra does like a photographer studio make? I'm not going to share the numbers. I'll just say it was a lot. And I was like, how much are you charging? He was like, $5,000. And I was like, all right, we're never doing that again. So how much does it cost to open a photography studio? And he was like, a lot less than it makes. And I was like, okay, well, why don't we just front all that and build them all? And so that's what we did.
Sean, Alex, maybe, I don't remember how long ago, I think recent, had a call. The headline was like, Grant Cardone just made me a billionaire or something like that. It was like a funny headline. And he did this. He paid Grant Cardone $30,000 for an hour of time.
Paid him 124 hours.
Oh yeah, pretty crazy. And basically on it, he YouTubed the call. And on the call, he basically, you know how like you and I will talk to each other or our friends and you're like, hey, I'm in the middle of selling this company. What do I do? And then you also be like, by the way, like, here's my net worth portfolio. Like, is that enough? Like, you just ask all these questions, like, you know, like, what do I do now? Like, once I have this, like, how much should I expect? You know, like all these, like the things that you ask, like your rich uncle, like as you're growing. He asked all these questions and he was so transparent. It was uncomfortable almost. He said, he goes, well, look, like right now I've got $21 million in the bank. After this, I should have like 54 after taxes. And he like, this is all on YouTube. It's wild. Why are you so open about that? I think that's cool, but uncomfortable for you.
Yeah. It feels like the right thing to do. I think like, what are the things I'm most afraid of? And usually they're the things that I should do. And so it's like, I'm afraid of saying this because I know that when I say those numbers, people can immediately judge me in one direction or the other. But in my mind, all the people that I want to talk to think that's a really small number. And so I feel insecure saying those numbers, but I want to, like, I'm a big believer that like shame only exists in the darkness. And so like, if I can shed light on it, then I can hopefully quell some level of the insecurities that I have. And so,
yeah, but the Panda Express guy wasn't doing that when he was 32.
What? Oh, the numbers?
Yeah, no, like he didn't, like you're saying you think it's small or they think it's small. Yeah. Age is a fact. Age and liquidity are huge multiples to net worth. Well, so like the fact that you had that at age 30
it also seems,
and cash is way different than owning 10 restaurants.
It also seems like, you know, for your model with acquisition, the more you go out there as the entrepreneur's friend and entrepreneur's helper, and you provide a bunch of value by giving out free content and stuff like that, then you're basically creating your own deal.